In the last lecture, you distributed your survey. In this lecture, I'm going to show you how to analyze those results. Just come across to the Analyze tab here in Typeform, and you should see the screen in front of you. The metrics screen here is really to monitor your Typeform across devices. I found this very helpful when the survey was just going out, and I could see a high-level overview of how many people had completed it, the time to complete, etc., the different devices that they were coming in on, the completion rates. One thing that you should be aware of is this is defaulted to unique visits. So this is showing me the number of unique individuals who completed and accessed the survey. If you change this to total visits, you'll notice that this rate is much higher, and those 20 extra people, the difference there is probably me going in, looking at the form, etc. So unique visits is what you really want to focus on because they're the more accurate numbers. To look at the actual results then, once the survey is complete, I think you should come into this section, maybe after a day or two of it running. You can come in here and start to really analyze the results. You'll see that if you have more than, I think maybe 25 rows there, it'll start to be spread across different pages. And if that's the case, to analyze it all in one go, it's probably much better that you download it. To do that, you can click on download here. I'm going to download this as an Excel file. It's opening up. What I'm going to do is tidy this up a little bit, make it easier to look at. So I'm going to select these rows here. I'm not going to show you the emails. And I want to hide these right now. So I'm going to click on Format here, hide columns, and that has disappeared from view. It hasn't been deleted. I can get that back if I want. I'm going to do that with the first row here. This is like a unique identifier number. It's not really important. So I'm going to click on Format again, hide column, and there, that's gone. The setup for that might be slightly different depending on what application you're using or the version of Excel, but I think it's a good idea just to make it easier. I'm going to expand these columns a little bit, expand this way out as well. I'm also going to click on the top of this column and then click on wrap text here, and now you can see it's all pulled into one column, which is makes it a little bit easier to read. I'm also going to click on view, zoom, and let's bring this right in to 150%. Now I can see much clearer the responses from my survey. Over here, the answer to question 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 was the emails that I've just hidden out of view for the moment. You've got the actual questions along the top here. Could be nice to bold them just so you remember what they were. And essentially you just want to spend time then reading through every single one of these, not only down this column where you get the most feedback, but especially how it links into what they've said previously. To give you an example, let's look at this row here. On a scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you in launching your own business online? So 10, this person was very keen. Small business owner, entrepreneur. The topic that he or she was most interested in was creating a marketing plan. I asked, what could this new course include that would really help you achieve your goal? Notice that he or she added in here feedback specific to the topic that they were most interested in. And I think that's really interesting because I got feedback not only on one idea, I got feedback on a lot of different topics and what I could include in a lot of different topics. So I think it's really good to put those questions after each other because it worked really well. And I got specific feedback related to each different topic and not just one. I think that's why this survey, even though it's short, came up with a lot of great suggestions. The person has said here, what could I include? Tips, ways to create a winning marketing plan, what to include in a marketing plan. So as you know, we have a marketing plan template in this course. It's great to see that people want that they think that will help them create a good marketing plan, what to include. And the marketing plan template in this course hopefully fulfills that. And really that is some of the language that I could use to promote this particular the marketing plan template section of the course. For example, in my sales video for the course, I could say, and you will also learn how to create a marketing plan, a winning marketing plan, exactly what to include. We've got a template here. So you can see I'm starting to pick up language that I could actually use in my sales video, my sales page, on my blog posts, etc. So that is just really good to see what people are saying and what people actually want. And I'm not going to go through all this, but what I'd suggest you do is really look for patterns. Look for things that people are saying, real life examples, actual examples. And so what I did, I think it was a little bit hard for me to see the patterns just when it's so structured like this. So what I actually did was I took out a piece of paper and I read through everything and I started to write things down. And I'm going to show you, I took a picture of it just to show you what. Now my handwriting is absolutely terrible. I didn't think I'd be showing this to you, but you can see here I've got actual examples, real examples, practical examples, lots of case studies, examples, real business scenarios, realistic examples. These are actually the words that people used in here. And so one thing that I really took out of this feedback was people want real examples. They want easy to follow steps. They want things that they can implement straight away. And I knew those things were important, but when you hear 50, 60 people telling you that, you're really going to pay attention. To recap, in this lecture, you learned how to analyze the results of your Typeform survey. The first tip that I gave you was to download your survey responses into an Excel from Typeform. That'll make it much, much easier for you to remove those columns of information that you don't really need and focus instead on the most important responses. The second tip was to read each response very carefully, especially to look at the other responses that a person has given in the previous questions or the questions after the one you're looking at, to really see how it all links together. The third tip was to really look for patterns, common answers, and write down on a piece of paper words that keep coming up. I showed you the screenshot of me performing that exercise, and I can tell you it was probably the most beneficial way for me to take actionable insights and feedback out of this survey. So I'd really recommend you do that as well. Coming up in the next lecture, I'm going to recap on this section, and I've also got a challenge for you so you really put into action what you have learned in this part of the course. I'll see you in the next lecture.